and welcome to Woman reality talk show, where we have a heart-to-heart embracing womanhood. My name is Evelyn Intwatwa, and together with me is
Emanuela,
Rhoda,
and Lorena.
Wow, February is here, the month of love. We are here to celebrate love, so let's talk about love.
Eve, have you read a book by Gary Chapman?
Oh yeah?
The 5 Love Languages, which are
acts of service,
physical touch,
Quality
time, and
words of affirmation.
mission.
That is
right
beautiful. So we have all the love languages there. So ladies, can you share with us your love languages and how you discovered them?
My love language is, the primary love language is gifts.
Wow. Emma, you love
I
gifts?
love to be gifted. And if it's something small,
Yes.
Wow.
it means the world to me.
Oh,
Wow.
And then the secondary one is quality time. Quality time meaning, you go somewhere and just sit and spend time
with
either friends or your loved ones, Yeah.
not alone, eh?
I'm not alone. And how I discovered that my love language, actually it was when we were going for marital counseling, premarital counseling.
Yes.
Because they made it clear that when you're getting married, you have to know his love language. So it was the first time I was hearing it, and I'm thinking, okay, that is when I got to know my love languages. That's when I got to know my fiance's love language at that time. And yeah, that is how I discovered mine.
That is beautiful.
Wow. On the other hand, I never had the chance to discover it before I got married, because then the premarital counseling was really basic. But like as we walked the journey of love with my husband, I kind of he always kept telling me, we need to spend time together. You're overworking. You're always a busybody. You're running around. In fact, he calls me, you're like a rodent. Like you're running around. So
Here and there.
you're here and there all the time. So I kept wondering, now I do everything. I clean, I wash dishes, I prepare, and of course my husband is very helpful. And I was feeling the love because he cooks. He can help you with washing and everything. So I was feeling the love. So I'm thinking, so now how am I communicating this love? I'm like, if I tell you I love you, it's enough. So why am I how come you're not feeling my love? So I went researching, and that's when I fell on that book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, and I read it. I was like, oh my God. So I started sharing it with him. He's like, no, those things don't. I told him. So when he kept telling me, I'm like, oh, now I know. My husband is quality time, and I am acts of service. So you asked busybodies. Now that contrast, a busybody and somebody who just wants to sit down, look right in their face, and do nothing.
Lorraine, acts of service, what exactly does that mean to you?
Acts of service to me is like we're sharing. Like we're sharing before with Emma, and I'm like, when Emma comes to my house and picks me, and we're going for an event, I feel like she has done something for me.
Wow.
You get it? So for me, it's already an act of service. So when Eve gets out of her way to say, you know what, I called you the other time and I told you I need to buy cream, and you say, oh, I'm going to get out of my way and buy it for me. I was like, oh my God, this girl loves me, so I'll get out of my way. Even like today, I was feeling like down, but I'm like, I have to do this for Eve. I have to be able to do something for my friend. Yes.
Anyway, and for me, my love language is quality time.
Wow.
I know most of the people, okay, not really being mistaken, but they know as a gifting person. They know that is maybe my love language. But I think they work hand in hand. And I should say, sometimes I get to feel like all the love languages, I have them, I feel them, but mainly quality time. And what is quality time to me is, being in a place that is so calm, with some sweet music, besides me with someone I love, and we just talk about nothing, and everything,
nothing and everything.
So that moment to me is I feel so much loved when I have that moment. And the secondary is gifting. Because sometimes I feel even when I want to give out the quality love to some other people because it's my love language, I fail at a certain point where people cannot avail themselves. So I end up picking up the one that is very fast is to gift people. I love gifting. So every time I gift someone, I feel it's beautiful. Maybe they will love it.
Why all these married men not talking about physical touch?
It is obvious.
That comes in, but not so.
I guess it's getting me trickle my mind. I don't sure the physical touch. But baby, I love you because I am you're over my head. Get out of my head. That's not what I want. That's not what I understand. Acts of service, partly, yes. Quality time. That is very primary for me.
Wow.
It's quality time of I love it or like I understand it. You speak. Someone who chooses to love me speaks directly from their heart to my heart. If they choose to want to spend time with me, I would rather be there, and I'm a talker. So why I need the quality time is just to hear. Talk even things that are not connected with
Talkers always want listeners.
I am here. So I need, because I'm not a good listener, so I love people who listen so much. And then the secondary, I would say, are gifts. One, it's something that
we share.
It's something that I not only love to do, and I discover because I love to do it, definitely it is something that speaks to my heart.
Yes.
Because it speaks to me and I understand it more, I end up doing it more. So even if it is a little tiny gift, you guys, I get excited. It's all over my status. One time a friend told me, oh, if you received the gift, so why is it on the status? Because the people have loved me.
So I have to show it out
in a way that I understand. Some people will be, I'm giving you, I'm doing all the acts of service, you don't appreciate these things, I'm loving, touching me, you instead irritating me. Don't do it.
Remembering what Rhoda said of when like she goes on that quality time, she wants the other person to listen to her, speak and speak and speak. On the other hand, for me, I really want someone to talk. I want to listen and that person says it all.
I love you.
I love you, or you're the best, or you're sweet, you're what? All those sweet words. Yeah, but also there are situations where we tend to love people in the way that we think is the best because we are loving them in our own love languages.
Very true.
Ladies, is such a scenario ever happened to you? Like you're loving people, but instead you're loving them in your own love languages, not in their love languages.
Yes, it is. It's actually a common thing that I have experienced personally. That you reach and say I have a personal friend or my closest of friends.
Yes.
Quality time, just like I mentioned. I love quality time, give me the time, but I am a person who rarely loves you in your quality time. I need to give you the quality time. So if my closest of friends will always complain, Rhoda, you're everywhere, you think you're loving everyone and giving attention to all people, and you're not giving me quality time. And yet for me, I'm thinking being there for you at a time when you matters most. I am showing my love for you by being there for you at the time when it matters most, which are acts of service actually. And so I find it easy to love someone in using acts of service, then it gets to me.
Yes.
So in the end you end up conflicting. I feel I'm doing so much for this person, but I mean
they're not getting it.
Until one time Loretta walked up to me and said, Rhoda, all I need is your time. Nothing.
Your undivided time.
I want your attention.
Manuela, have you ever experienced such a situation?
Maybe my situation is me and my husband. I think that is like the best that I can think of. My husband is someone, his love language is touch, mine is the opposite. Then another one of his is acts of service. So for him, he will wake up in the morning, surprise you with breakfast, he will do what? And for me, I'm thinking, okay, yes, he has done it. It's really not a big deal. But now for him, he does it and he expects, and another love language of his is is words of affirmation.
Yes.
He likes it when I tell him, "Wow, thank you so much for doing this. You've really done a good job." Now, for me, whether you thank me or not, I'm not really bad.
I'm not
Yes.
really.
I'm not really bad at when I do something,
You feel you have done your part.
You know. So whether you tell me thank you or what, it doesn't really matter. But now for him, you know, we have a big compound, so he's the one who does our compound. So after doing it and he's standing, he's looking and smiling, and then he's looking at me like waiting. And then later he's like, "Hey, but I did the compound. Did you not say
Thank you.
I'm like, "No, I'm really grateful.
I
Thank
appreciate
you."
it.
But for me, it doesn't come natural.
But you know, surprisingly, for me and my husband, we share the same love language, the primary love language. Yes, the quality time. But the only challenge sometimes, that is why we were trying to look at what does quality time to you mean, because for me quality time is really like, you know, be out, spend time there, like, you know, have those moments. Yes, sometimes, most times to him it's the same, but in most cases quality time to him, he wants to come back home when, like, you know, home is calm, the kids are sleeping, and you know, you're there, everything is done, and then that is how he feels like, you know, there is quality time. By the time you go somewhere younger,
and that means, okay, that's his love language. That means when the kids are tucked away, the bed is full of red petals. Dinner for just the two of you.
Yeah, but the challenge I get on the other side, like for relatives and the friends, especially with the friends, like I tend to give them more of the gifts.
Yes.
And sometimes I don't even like when I give them gifts, I want them to show me that they have really, really appreciated because
they appreciate it.
yes. And then in my heart I'm like, but I sent someone a gift, but they have not shown me the excitement that like the same excitement I get when I receive a gift. So somehow I'm like, okay, did they love it or not? So there I find a challenge.
On me, on the other hand, the challenge I think it was mainly with my children. You know, when you have children and you try to love them, but now understanding each one of them's love language was kind of a challenge, because I never thought that the love language got up to the children. I thought it was mainly for marriage.
Yes.
Then I realized that, my dear, even for the children, for friends, for in-laws, you know, for relatives. So I had to discover my children's love language. Then the firstborn is words of affirmation, and in fact that's when I discovered it, because he used to be affected by words. When you said like negative words, like they carry a load on him, you know, they affect the way he does things, and I realized, okay, so now every time he will do something, and then that way we also learned how to communicate correctly, because like somebody with the words of affirmation, you also have to know how to communicate when you correct it. Because if you say, you did ABCD and here and communicate it in a wrong way, they won't get it. Because already, that's their love. You're like breaking the love, and you're the mother. And then I have my daughter, she's the only one who has given us gifts. On anniversary, she'll buy gifts, she'll do like mosaics. She did mosaics. She gives. She would buy me earrings for my birthday, and for me, I'll even tuck them up. And then she's like, "No, but you didn't put on my earrings."
Something I've just remembered, like with my first child. Ian is amazing. You know, like I think that is the very first time I discovered his love language. It was his birthday, and he's someone who is like very, you know, like you must give him something. So he usually asks, "Mommy, it's going to be my birthday, so what are you preparing to give me?" I'm like, just wait, like, you know. So this time around it happened with the girls I have at my workplace, and like he was like, "Okay, Mommy, you gave me and Daddy gave me, but these sisters of mine have not given me anything." My boy cried, and I was like, "No, Ian, it's not a must. Maybe they don't have money." He's like, no, Mommy, it's my birthday, so they have to give me something. So I was like, oh my God. So I told the girls, you know what? Please find something for Ian. And the same way, every time we have like a party or a birthday for someone, he makes sure he has a gift for someone.
Wow. Yeah. Now, in such circumstances, I am wondering, how best do you bridge the gap? Because if you find your spouse or the lover or your friend actually understands love differently.
Yes.
Or they speak a different language of love. How best do you bridge the gap? At what point do you get to compromise? Because let me bring up, use an example of the physical touch. I mean, your man, your boyfriend, your husband, your friend. Touching is not common for friends. And let's talk about
that is so intimate.
So if physical touch is safe for you, the person that you are dating or married does not appreciate or doesn't love, because honestly, if you speaking from experience, and I can gladly say politely, I am not comfortable. But then when you're dealing with someone who is so touchy, they feel pushed away.
Yes.
Why? You don't love me? Why? Like, it feels like you're pushing them away, and you are affecting their ego somewhere. And yet, for you, you feel irritated. Yet you love them, but irritated because it's not, you don't understand them. And yet you're supposed to move in such moments. How best do you bridge the gap?
I think communication is really key. Yeah, communication.
Like you tell the person, dude, this is my love language.
No.
Brother, when you talk about that, it gets me to remember our last born. His love language is touch. Now, imagine a scenario where he has done something, and you're angry. Now in the night he comes,
Mommy.
good night, mommy. You still have to feel that you have to give him the hug. So the thing is, I think it is one of the things I have learned is separating issues.
Yes.
Because if you don't want to be touched and the other person wants to touch. You have to separate and know now he's communicating. You get it? He's not irritating me, but she or he is communicating. So can I take in the communication instead of saying, I'm feeling irritated.
Like smile on the other side while it's saying,
no. Yeah, but it's just like positioning yourself in that moment to say, this person is trying to speak to me. Okay, can I listen?
Yeah, but I also think in the moments like those, because we are trying to learn how to love best.
Yes.
It's very important to give. So we are the ones to give out. So we let the people feel love. Because if the best way I feel love is to be, hugged, to be taken somewhere, please. I need to let that person do that. So that person has to let it happen. Yes.
So me, I think in my marriage I learned to think of the other person more than I think
more than you. Wow.
So if I know that my husband's love language is touch, as soon as he enters the house, I'll run to give him a hug. Whether I feel like it, but I know that will speak
volumes.
Because you're giving. Exactly.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you put aside your selfish needs. Because if every time you're like, don't touch me, I don't want
you get tired of me.
And then I know that he loves to be like words of affirmation. He loves to be like complimented, appreciated. So even if he does something very tiny, I'll be, oh my God, that is so good. And I know that it will make him happy. So you just put aside your selfish nature to make the other person
focus on the other person.
That is so beautiful. Actually, it reminds me of my second born, Eldad. Eldad is he's a touch boy. Like he's someone who loves, like, mommy, I love you. Like I get surprised every time I come back home and he's like, oh mommy, I love you. Mommy, you're so sweet. Mommy, I'm like, oh my God. But also we can let's look at scenarios where, for example, the marrieds or my single lady, maybe with your boyfriend, in the scenario where you find yourselves like having different love languages, how best do you work on that? Like how do you play around it so that the relationship doesn't fade away?
You compromise, I think, just like she said.
But then they're contrasting or what do they call it? Contradicting languages. Like now, mine is a rodent. Acts of service. My husband is sit down, look at me, or let's put popcorn, let's watch a movie together. I'm not a movie person. So it kind of sometimes creates that tension. Because you're looking around the house, I should be cleaning, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And it's like, but stop it, sit. So like she has said, it's giving.
Yes.
It's giving, compromising, being selfless. To say, you know what, at this moment, let me give it away for the good of both of us.
So, and how best do we, like, get out of our way to understand or to discover people's love languages.
How do you easily?
How do we easily? Because sometimes it's really hard because you can be with someone for certain years and like you have not gotten to a point of like this is it.
I think you can. You can carry a panda. But no. I think this is my love language.
I think the best way is that love. Because now, if we're talking about spouses or children, because now you love your children or people around you. If you're talking about the people you love, you try as much as possible to discover how best can I love them. Because
how best do you discover is what I'm trying to. Because now, for example, I have a friend, and like every time I give them the time, if I need to see you, I'm right there. I'm seated, I'm listening to each other, and like after that meeting, after like a short time, she's like, but like I missed you already, like you've not been here. I'm like, but I've been there for this lady.
I think these things are for being intentional.
Yes.
You become intentional about discovering what the other person appreciates most. It doesn't make so much, it doesn't carry enough strength for you to go out of your way to try to love someone and then they're not appreciating it the way.
Yes.
So it's not that they don't love you, but because you've spoken a language that doesn't speak to their heart. So the perfect way for me, I think, is to be intentional and pay attention to detail.
Oh yeah.
Because if I spend more time with you, Manuela, for the little times I've been around you, I will know Manuela loves gifts. So even if I was coming from somewhere and just carried a cookie for Manuela, or I carried some chocolates and then a scarf or something, I'll give her and I know she will be happy. So this is something that doesn't just come. It is because you've become intentional, you spend time together, you read, and people should also speak up. But also, people struggle to love you. I think I love it.
The other thing that Evelyn was talking about, some people are so demanding, most especially if they're missing out the love on the other side. Now, for our case, it's a friend. Now, for me, because I feel my husband's love, if I come here, I won't demand so much from you.
Yes.
Now, if I'm missing love elsewhere, I'll demand so much from my friends, which sometimes is selfish.
It's not so easy.
Yes. It is selfish because now I'm not receiving love elsewhere. But now this
just
one person, I want them to fill my whole love bank, which is impossible.
Rhoda talked about like people speaking up. Yes. I feel it's also important. Like when I go out with Emanuela, like Emma, what is your love language? What do you love most? Like I think it's very easy when someone shares.
It's randomly. I love it when you give me gifts. I love it when you give me time. I love it when you touch me.
For me.
I love it when you give me one.
So now what we should do, we should tell people out there to always communicate their love language. Please communicate. Tell your spouse, tell your friends, tell your children, so that they know. Then they can speak the right love language to you.
Exactly. We have looked at love languages, and let us be intentional in loving our friends, our spouses, our children, and our families. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.